fascinating new study has found that university students would actually pay money for social media to disappear from their friend group for a month at a time. Now, a Washington Post columnist named Eduardo Porter wrote about that research in an op-ed titled, "The Problem with Social Media is that it exists at all." I agree with that title. That title is something that I feel deep in my heart every single day.
I actually don't, and so we're gonna have a spirited debate about that in a second. In fact, we have a poll, should social media exist? And that's gonna be at tyt.com/polls, and ironically, on social media.
Okay, now Porter calls for a complete ban on social media in the piece. I don't think there should be a total ban on social media. I do think that employers who put too much weight behind social media should stop doing that and stop pressuring employees or potential employees to have a presence on social media and a following on social media. People can buy social media followers. It's all like smoke and mirrors. It's super annoying, and I can't stand that in addition to the terrible work culture that we have in this country, there's additional pressure to be on platforms that make people miserable. That's the issue I have with social media. If it's not something that's being foisted upon people, if there's no pressure to be on social media, totally fine with it.
Yeah, so that's kind of, it's not unique to you, but it's a smaller problem because you're in media, and so hence you feel that pressure to be on social media for the purpose of your career. But most people's problem with social media is the pressure, the judgment, the shaming, etc. And that is a massive problem. But I don't think you're gonna fix it by getting rid of social media, but we can talk about that more.
So he writes that researchers found that students on TikTok would be willing to pay $28 for TikTok to disappear from their social circle for a month. The equivalent for Instagram was $10. The researchers wrote, users' utility is negative, but would have been even more negative if they didn't use the platform, which is why they continue using it, it sounds crazy, but what's really happening is they're worried that if they're not on social media while their friends are, they're gonna miss out.
Yeah, that's old FOMO.
I got news for you. You're not gonna miss out. You're not gonna miss out. Go hang out with your friends in real life.
No, but they are. Because
Are they?
Because now my kids are growing up, and if they're not watching the cool videos on TikTok that other people know about, then they feel like they're left out of the story. They don't know the joke, they don't understand what's happening. But the problem is that when you go on those platforms, like on Instagram, for example, people put up pictures and then people judge them. And that's a disaster. And for young kids, they're not equipped to, well, actually no one's equipped as a human being to handle a ton of people telling you how you look, whether you look good, you look bad, what's wrong with you, etc.
I would say individuals who are proficient in social media use know that the best option is to be a lurker, not a poster.
Yeah,
you know?
So that's at least potentially better because then you're not put in front of a crowd and then judged by everyone. And guys, so the social media have a giant problem. It does, because, and it's leading to depression in kids, and especially among young girls, and we've covered that story before. Because in the old days, you just get judged in your high school, and that was already miserable enough, right? But now the whole world is judging you. And not only that, before in the old days, you get compared to Debbie Kirshner, the hottest girl in school.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, Debbie, you're welcome. Okay, but now you're compared to the hottest girl on the planet. And so it's an impossible standard, and it's stressing everyone out beyond imagination because we're not built for it. When we get that kind of negative feedback, we internalize it. That's how human beings react. And so and especially when you're 13, 14, 15, oh my God, that is mental torture for a lot of people. So, but why am I in favor of social media? Because the only alternative is just going back to the way things were, which was just corporate media. And corporate media is so awful, so untrue, has poisoned this country in so many ways. I love that at least there's an outlet where you could see real people, and people who are not part of the elites can rise up and be influencers, creators, and not all of them are positive because humanity isn't all positive. but at least you have a shot. You've got a fighter's chance with social media being around that we can change this country for the better. But when things like this first come around, you first get the downside before you get to the upside.
I think it starts with upside and then you get the downside.
Yeah, you're right. In the beginning it was upside, hey, my God, can we help, blah, blah, blah. Then massive, an avalanche of downside. But I think there's upside coming as well, because we're breaking down mainstream media, which was an enormous problem in this country and continues to be. It's basically propaganda for corporate rule that's destroying all of our lives. So social media has a little bit of anarchy in it, and you should be super careful. But at the same time, it's also liberating. If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.